astral travel, astral projection, mediumship, lucid dreaming, shamanic trance, focused ecstatic ritual. All of these fall under the umbrella term of spirit communication, which is what this video is all about. A guide to build that solid foundation from the ground up, as well as if you've already been communicating with spirits, adding value to your practice and journey. Hi, what's up? Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Lindsay Gray, and I am a psychic medium here on the internet, as well as offering in-person readings. And I'm here to help enhance your psychic abilities as well as know your power. So if we have the triangle, which is spirit communication, and working our way up from foundation, building that upward, first base level where we want to start is knowing thyself. When you know yourself and you spend time with your essence, your soul, who you really are, get out of your mind, emotions, thoughts, tap into your soul, that part of you that transcends this reality, transcends this body, passes over when you die, if you believe in afterlife and reincarnation. It's that part of you that is connected to everything. It's connecting me, you, everything that has a consciousness. It is connecting us all simultaneously, transcending life and death. And it is that part of you that is the lifeline that will be tapping into not only the spirit world, but every other realm there is in existence. So spending time with that part of yourself, as well as your other bodies also, so your physical body, emotional body, spiritual body. This helps bring you down to that ground level, knowing yourself on a completely raw, who you are 100% as a soul. And it really helps you tap into that frequency, which is needed because in spirit communication, it's basically just like a radio and tuning into different frequencies. So once you know your frequency and you know what it feels like, and really know what's going on within your body, if you have an illness, or you can kind of feel what's going on. Same thing with your emotional and mental bodies. If you spend time with those, knowing when there's too many ups and downs and needs to be brought back to balance or centered, knowing when there's cracks in your foundation or cracks in your energy body, which I highly recommend aura pictures, aura readings, so you can know where those cracks in the foundation are, your strengths and your weaknesses, and you only are able to do that through knowing yourself on that deep level. So really, when it comes down to it, building that foundation level is self-mastery. It's really doing the work, shadow work, if you will. It's knowing yourself inside and out, weaknesses, strengths, as well as fears, blocks, really understanding what's going on the inside and clearing those, making them stronger, transmuting them. Especially if you have a history of trauma. Trauma can tend to cause glitches in the frequency. That seems to be something that continuously we're working on, because it's often very karmic in nature and it has a purpose that is, we're supposed to be learning from it, and that's why it can be so painful. So doing that shadow work on a consistent basis, it also helps give you a lot of baseline qualities that you're going to need when you're communicating with spirits. For example, boundaries. You have to have solid, firm boundaries with yourself and others, and mastering that in the physical is important before you move on to mastering it in the spiritual. Alright, so moving on to that next layer and building that foundation from the ground up in terms of spirit communication, we're going to focus on protection, energy protection. And one of the number one reasons I hear most commonly why individuals do not or choose not to work with spirits or commune with the other side is fear. Fear of opening up a portal, fear of a demon coming through the portal and possessing them. And although these are likely, more often than not, are unlikely if following all the steps mentioned previously, as well as working with protection magic, energy protection. And I want to mention, it's really important to know that we are in control. You have all the power. And as long as you are setting your boundaries and working with yourself, knowing yourself, you have complete control of the situation at all times. And it's important to know that, and certainly not let fear hold you back from a potentially really rewarding relationship with spirits on the other side. So what I highly recommend is daily practice. So a daily regimen of grounding, centering, aligning yourself, aligning your energy centers, making sure that you feel very centered within yourself, as well as some form of shielding. So it gets working with that energy body. And if you're already communicating with spirits, you understand the importance of knowing how crucial it is that you stay grounded and aligned so you can better interpret the energies that are coming to you, as well as what you're putting out there, knowing your own emotions as well as those that are coming to you, which is a constant discernment when working with energies from the other side, and really energies in general in day-to-day life. So a daily practice of some form of protection magic that resonates most with you. Even if it's not able to do daily, something where you can just keep a routine so you're continuously working with your own energies and the energies in the unseen realms. Also, there is an amazing list composed of ways, almost kind of like a checklist, by Devin Hunter in his book, Witch's Book of Spirit, that kind of goes through different ways of which you can protect yourself psychically when working with the other side. So I just wanted to read off a few of those because they're absolutely amazing, as well as his list of boundaries that is important to have in place when working with spirits. So I'm going to read the first list of ways in which you can protect yourself. So grounding and aligning. Also protection seals. Great. You're probably already familiar with those, and wearing them on your body specifically during astral travel, astral projection really helps in those specific cases. Also, if you're ill, sick, definitely protect your energy, refrain from communicating with the other side because that's already adding an element of weakness. So waiting until you get better is best idea. Also working with your spirit guides. These beings are your team. They're here to help you, and they have your best interest in mind at all times. So they're almost like your best friends on the other side. So with working with them, it can only be beneficial and upgrade and really illuminate your own practice. Salt is not as strong as iron. Psychic shielding and protection, a regular practice. Warding of the home. And also working with protection talismans as well as gargoyles, something that is protecting the home at all times. Talisman is great, is different from amulets with a focus on protection. So wearing a protection talisman, having some type of protection talisman for your house, you know, you can really get creative with the whole process. But at the end of the day, some type of protection is needed when working with the other side, just to protect yourself psychically and to cover all of the bases and to keep the foundation strong. Now that we are finally at the top of the pyramid, which is all about making spiritual contact with the other realm, actually communicating with the other side, the unseen. So a good rule of thumb going into this is having a game plan. First off, knowing which psychic avenue or channel you're going to use to reach the other side. Now, this generally goes back to your own gifts and your own strengths, but you can experiment with other and various kinds of psychic abilities to strengthen all types. 3 of the most common being mediumship, astral travel, as well as conjuring and summoning. Now, first off, with mediumship, there's 3 different kinds generally. There is the psychic medium, who mostly receives messages via clairsentient means, as well as images and songs, pictures. There's also the mental medium, which receives it in the same way as the psychic medium, but with a mental medium, they usually have to tune in. You'll usually have them, who would you like to tune into, like XYZ, and then tuning into that specific person or place to receive those messages. It's a little bit more of a masculine gift, so it's needing to project the mind into the astral plane or into that realm to receive those messages, versus a psychic medium is maybe more of the feminine side of it, where it's always receiving little bits of insight, little bits of psychic information on a consistent daily basis. Now, thirdly, we have the physical medium, which receives messages via very similar, also through images and song and downloads, but also in a physical sensation. They also have the ability to produce ectoplasm, which can help spirits manifest. After you determined which psychic avenue you're going to go down, then know where you're going to go. Then it's important to figure out which realm, which being, where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? Who do you want to visit? So many helpful maps out there that really help to take you place by place, location in the cosmos. Some great ones include the world map. There's also the tree of Yggdrasil, which is more of a Norse paganism map. It focuses on different realms, beings, and also includes the Fae. There's also the Kabbalah, the tree of life, another term for it, which has different spheres that you can travel to. It also incorporates the planetary celestial bodies in that map. It's very well rounded, and it has a lot to go off of specifically for Western culture. So after you know what psychic avenue, you know where you're going, who you're speaking with, the next step would be having a good list of questions, as well as a divination tool to help speak to the beings of that plane. Generally, I will give 2 pages in my Book of Shadows or my Book of Spirit Communication, where I have devoted to each entity that I come in contact with. A lot of the questions or material I'm trying to gain from these beings is, where do they come from? Who are they? What is it like on their plane? How do they live? A lot of different beings don't require oxygen, for example, here on Earth like we do. Some of them use methane gas or just different gases. Some of them don't need food, or the food that they do need is more of like a plankton or an algae or something different. So knowing the beings, getting to understand them, and you're building a relationship with these beings. So knowing which questions you want to answer and having those divination tools to really just further confirm what you're receiving. Paying close attention to how you feel your emotions, just like I mentioned, receiving subtle images, song, numbers, just little subtle insight is generally how it comes to you. You can also determine if this being is more dense, more light. That also goes to more benevolent, maybe more malevolent. So there's the variety of questions, the variety of ways you can get to know these beings or the plane that they exist or live on or where they're coming from is countless and endless. And that really goes back to personal preference and what are you personally wanting to gain from these interactions and these relationships that you are working on building with these beings. So, like I said, there is a variety of different ways you can go about this, but working your way from the ground up really helps build that solid foundation, not only within yourself, but building that solid relationship and foundation with these other beings that can only benefit your life. So, I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions or you would like me to expand on certain topics or certain information, just let me know in the comment section below. But until then, please like and subscribe, and I will talk to you later.